Hi guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. I'm currently on my way to work, hence why I'm wearing a suit and I'm stuck in traffic. And there's a motorcyclist who's trying to just cut through and get rear-ended by my car. Anyways, so what I'm going to be talking about in this video is car finances and explaining the different types of car finances and the pros and cons of each. So car finances, you've got hire purchase, HP, PCP, personal contract plan, and car leasing. Now let's start off with HP and the pros and cons about it. So say for argument's sake, you've seen a brand new car, £20,000, and you want to buy it. So you go to a dealership and you say, right, I want this car and I want it on HP. And what HP is you kind of hiring the car and then purchasing it at the end of the term. So you decide on the term, which could be 24 months, 36 or 48, and you make regular payments throughout that term of whatever amount it's going to be, and then at the end of the term you've paid for the car plus some interest. So effectively you've kind of paid a little bit more because there's always going to be interest involved in pretty much all of these deals, and at the end of the term the car is yours and happy days, and you can do whatever you want with it. The cons of HP is that the regular monthly payments are higher because you are financing the whole amount, or a larger amount of the the kind of purchase price, and then you are paying that off over the term. So just bear that in mind, your regular monthly payments will be higher. Occasionally I do like to give this car a bit of a blast when the road clears up. PCP is something that I've been doing for the last 12 years pretty much on most of my cars. It's the most popular kind of finance package out there, and essentially the way it works is you have a car, again £20,000 to start off with, just as an example. You put down the small deposit, that could be whatever it is. I think it's usually a maximum of up to 35% of the car. So in this example, let's just say you put £2,000 in as a deposit. The £18,000 is then split into regular monthly payments over a term, 36 months or 48 months or 24 even, if that's not something that you want. And then you have a balloon payment, also called the GFV, guaranteed future value. So you select certain parameters in terms of how much miles you're going to be doing in the car, which will affect your monthly payments. So if you say you're going to be doing 10,000 miles, your monthly payments might be 20 or 30 pounds higher. If you say you're going to do 8,000 miles, it'll be a little bit cheaper. The net effect of that is that your balloon payment or your GFV at the end will also be kind of affected. So if you are doing higher mileage, your monthly payments are higher, but then your GFV at the end is lower, or vice versa. Now PCP, the cons are that you never own the car until you made the final balloon payment at the end. Also, if you decide to exit early, you might be in negative equity where your loan is actually worth more than what your car's worth. So that's another thing to bear in mind. The pros are that it's more affordable because your monthly payments are lower, and towards the end of the car you have got three options. So you could just hand the car back if you've kept up with your mileage, the mileage that you've set. You can trade the car in for any other car, not necessarily the car that you bought. So for example, I'm in my M140i. I might decide at the end of the term that I want a Mercedes, or I want a BMW, or I want an Audi. So you have the option to go and buy any other car, and what they will do is they will sort of value your car. They will look at your the sort of condition of the car. They will look at your settlement amount, what you owe back, and if there's any equity, which means if your loan is less than the value of your car, they give you that as a cashback, which you can then put that back into a new car as a deposit. The third option is you buy the car. So you have a balloon payment, the GFV, and you kind of think, okay, well, I've got the money, it's about £6,000, whatever that amount's going to be, and you pay that off, and then the car is yours. Obviously with PCP there is interest, so if you keep the car right till the end of the term, you will end up paying more for it. Overall, it's the most popular way of financing a car because it just becomes quite affordable for many people out there because your monthly payments are lower, and also you've got those sort of 3 options at the end, which is, you know, really attractive for especially like new car buyers, or even like, say, you know, people that just want to keep changing the cars every, you know, 3-4 years. So it's one of the best options out there. Then you've got car leasing. Now, car leasing is, in my opinion, it works well if you are getting a car allowance from work, perhaps, because what tends to happen with car leasing is you are effectively just renting a car. So again, you've seen a car for £20,000, you'll put an initial rental down, say for 5 months or whatever the deal is. So you might put in, say, £2,000, which will cover 5 months rental, and then you'll have regular monthly payments for 2 years or 24, 36 or 48 months, however it is. However, the biggest con about car leasing is at the end of the 4-year period or 3-year or whatever the period is, you have to just hand the car back, and you don't get any sort of money back or anything like that. It is literally you're renting a car and that's about it. Well, certainly with PCP and with car leasing, you do have a mileage kind of cap on there, and that's something that you set. Like I say, if you go over like the mileage allowance, then you will have to pay like an excess fee, which could be like, say, you know, 35 to 45 pence per mile on top of that, plus perhaps, or, you know, whatever's in the agreement. Now, PCP, like I say, is one of the most popular finance deals out there that you can buy in a new car or even on a used car. And I'm not surprised really, because in my M140i, which I've got here, when I spec this car up, the list price of this car came to about £36,000. Now, if I went and I, you know, used my hard cash to kind of pay for that, then I would have had to pay £36,000. However, when I bought the car on finance, the dealership were offering, you know, some kind of contribution. So £2,500 from the dealership and another £5,000 from BMW themselves. So on a new car or even on a used one, at times you can get some contributions. PCP works best when you're buying a brand new car because the monthly payments are lower, and the reason for that is because you have a lot of funding from, like, say, the manufacturer or from the dealership, and also the interest rates on a brand new car are much lower than a used car. So typically speaking, a used car might hold an interest rate of about 10%, and on a brand new car you could even get away with interest rates of 0%, which is great. And car manufacturers like, I think, Mazda or Ford will definitely be doing, like, say, 0% deals on most of their cars, whereas other manufacturers might have lower interest rates, like, say, 2.9, 3.9 or 4%. So it's always worth, you know, kind of checking them out, because at times you might look at a car and you might say, oh, I'm just going to go and do a PCP on a used car, when really it's cheaper for you to actually buy a car on PCP, you know, a brand new one, just because of the lower interest rate. So that's something to take into account. Another thing, when you're speccing your car up, don't go crazy with the options, especially if it's a lease car and you're going to hand the car back. I kind of think it's pointless. Whereas on a PCP, the more desirable the car, the higher the GFV at the end. However, that will impact your monthly payments, but you know that you're going to have a car that potentially you might buy, or when you do come to trade it in, your car will be worth more than the bog standard similar car next to yours, because you've got some, you know, desirable options. So guys, hopefully you found this video useful. Like, share and subscribe to my channel for more car related content. I just thought I'll take this opportunity to kind of explain car finances, because when I was out there buying my first car, there was hardly any information out there, and I did feel quite intimidated with going to a dealership. Anyway guys, cheers, take care, bye.